I'm gonna need y'all to wish me all the good luck because I have managed to squeeze 2 TBRs from 2 different readathons and make them into one. Hey everyone, it's Teresa and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be me discussing my overall June TBR as well as my TBRs for Queerlit Readathon, which runs from June 6th, I want to say June 6th to probably the 12th. And then also Studio Ghibli Readathon, which runs from June 1st to June 30th. So I have a lot. I have a lot of things that I tried to squeeze into one. And it worked. I think I got it. And I also tried really hard. I think there's like 2 books. 2 books on this list that are not LGBT. Only 2 books. But I think I did it. So let's get into it before I like just rethink my entire TBR. Let's start off with the one book that is not LGBT. The first prompt is one that is for Studio Ghibli Readathon. And that is a book featuring a competition, and I ended up choosing A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. This was a buddy with Kate, but we both kind of failed epically, and I started reading it last month for May, but then I got caught up in my API reads, and I just put it down, so I'm going to pick it up this first week before Queerlit starts, and I will start reading it, and hopefully get through a good chunk of it and probably finish it within this week. One can hope. Moving on to the next one, and these 2 prompts, one is for Studio Ghibli Readathon and the other one is for Queerlit, and that is Not Sent on Your Continent and also Witches / Magical Elements. Now this book was pretty easy for me, and that is Spellbook of the Lost and Found by Moira Fowley Doyle. This is set in Ireland, so y'all know where I am with it. But this is a YA, I want to say, fabulism novel following basically this small place in Ireland where these characters are starting to lose things, like just random things. That is until one day they find a book that they find a book that was lost and has the ability to give them the ability to find everything that they've been missing at a price. So I'm super excited to read this book. I've heard really good things, and thankfully the font is fairly large. I don't know if you can see it, but it's fairly large, so I should be able to breeze right through this book. I've heard good things about Moira Fowley Doyle. I've been meaning to pick up more of her works because she just sounds like an amazing author, but I haven't had a chance to yet. So this is my time. It's my time. The next one is shorter than a novel / At Long Last, but I ended up going with Miranda in Milan by Catherine Duckett. Now, I've had this on my TBR for a while, but I kept telling myself, Therese, we gotta save it for when we reread The Tempest. However, I feel like at this point I've seen so many reiterations of The Tempest that I have what happens fairly committed fairly okay to memory, so I should be fine. But this is a retelling of The Tempest involving Miranda, and it's supposed to be hella gay. So I'm down for really gay retellings of Shakespeare. And it's a novella, so I should be able to breeze right through it. I think it's only 200 pages. It's like a very long novella, but again, font is about an okay size, so I should be able to breeze right through it. And that one is Unconventional Love and also The Free Space. For this one, I ended up choosing Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas. Now, you guys are probably like, what's so unconventional about it? I'm pretty sure Yadriel falls in love with the ghost, which seems pretty unconventional. Cemetery Boys is about young Yadriel who's trying to get his parents to understand his gender, how he feels on the inside should be reflective of the outside. And then one day he messes with magic since he is a bruja, I believe. He ends up performing the ritual for the quinces and ends up accidentally summoning Julian, who is the bad boy who has recently died. Now Julian will not go away until they find out exactly what happened to him. So, like I said, it sounds like unconventional because 10 to 10, Yadriel falls in love with Julian. It always happens when there's a ghost book. It happened with I Kissed an Angel, so pretty sure. The next one is recommended and then also having a book with a strong sibling relationship, and that one is The Bone Witch by Rin Chupeco. I did not get a chance to read this in May. Kate and I will be buttering reading this at the start of Queerlit Readathon. She's not participating, but that's the date that we have decided. And this is a YA high fantasy following young Thea who is part of a family of witches, and she ends up not being able to find her powers. It isn't until one day she finds that her powers are a bone witch, which means she can revive people, which then ostracizes her from her community. And as she's training and getting used to these powers and making them her own, she finds that she now has to come to make a decision in the middle of her training because of some war that's gonna threaten all her family. I'm super excited for this. I've heard really good things about Rin Chupeco's writing. I've heard great things about The Bone Witch. So stoked to pick this up, and I will definitely, this is literally going to be the first book that I pick up once Queerlit starts, because I'm just so excited. And thankfully, again, the font, not that small. It's the one thing I love about YA books is, or like, yeah, YA or like romance books, is that the font is a nice size. So even if the book is significantly thick, the font makes up for it, and I'm not sitting there sobbing because I picked up a book for a readathon that's like this thick. The next one is A Free Space, and then also Summer Vibes, or yeah, Summer Vibes and then A Free Space. And I ended up choosing 2 books for this, primarily because one, I know my friend is gonna get me an her annotated version of this book, and she's like, wait for it for your birthday, but my birthday is on June 27th, so there's a lot of room for error. But that is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire Sanz. This is a YA contemporary romance following young Dante and Ari, who kind of fall in love over the span of a couple months, I believe. It sounds very summery. I've heard it has a lot of accolades, and I know that there's a sequel, so I'm super excited to pick this up and see exactly what happens. But again, I'm stuck waiting for my friend to give me her annotated copy because she's very excited to have a book where her thoughts are written down. And I'm also very excited because I think having a book where your friend has written down all of their intimate notes and their thoughts and their reactions and favorite quotes is probably one of the best presents I could ever get when getting a book. I think it's a very intimate thing, and like basically pouring your heart out in book form without having to pour your heart out on a book. So like, if y'all are gonna get me presents of your favorite books so I can read it, y'all are more than welcome to get sticky notes or pens and like write on it and just have at it. Like, I physically cannot write in my own books, but that does not mean you are not allowed to write in your book and send it to me. So super excited. It's a contemporary, should be pretty quick. The other option, in case my sweet Ethel does not get the book to me in time, which it probably won't because it's the month is long, like Studio Ghibli Readathon is long, but the other one, Queerlit, is not long. It's only a week. So I'll have to pick and choose which books I want to read. For Queerlit, that'll work. The alternate book that I have is one that I'm excited for. I believe it's a 2021 release, and that is Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Malinda Lo. This is a historical fiction novel set in the 1950s where not only gay people could not fall in love, but it is right smack dab in the middle of the Red Scare. The main couple, I believe, is Lily, who ends up falling in love with Kathleen Miller, and it's already kind of a double whammy because they are both LGBT, and Lily is also Chinese American, which means she's at the heart of this Red Scare. Super excited to read this. It sounds so good and I'm gonna cry. Font is fairly tiny, so this might just have to be a book that I pick up after a Queerlit Readathon, but like, I'm super excited for this. I found it at a secondhand bookstore, and it's just, I'm stoked. I am unbelievably stoked for this book. And then a bonus book, if I somehow manage to finish all of these books, which I doubt I will be able to do because I'm stupid. But that book ends up being More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. You probably are sitting here going, Therese, you've already read this book. You read it for Queerlit like 2-3 years ago. The answer is yes, I did in fact read it for Queerlit 2-3 years ago. However, last year, Adam Silvera got a reprint of the book. So it no longer has this cover, which is the book cover that I read, but it has the new cover with Aaron on the front. And before some of y'all are like, well, it's just a new cover, like, we get it. There's also a new introduction by Angie Thomas, and then also bonus content from Aaron post the book, which is the real reason I wanted this one. This is a YA kind of sci-fi contemporary novel, I want to say, following young Aaron Soda, who is trying to find happiness in his own life after his father's suicide. Now, trigger warnings for this book: there's suicide, there's homophobia, there's depression, lots of not good stuff. But as Aaron tries to figure out this happiness with his girlfriend, he finds himself slowly falling for his new neighbor and new friend, Thomas. And this brings up not only a huge swirl of confusion for him, but it's also set on the backdrop with the Lateo Institute, where you can go in and they can modify your memories and remove a memory and completely change who you are as a person. in the process. It's one of my favorite books. It's one of my favorite books of all time. So if I get a chance to read this in June, I'd be super stoked, but honestly, I'll probably end up rereading this in July if I do not. So this is a maybe on the list if I manage to finish The Behemoth. That is my TBR already. Alright, so I'm done editing Therese here, but it wasn't until TB had mentioned it on one of my previous videos that we have a buddy read this month. So I will be also adding / forcing this to fit somewhere, and that is The Lost Mage by Ben Alderson. This is his new release. It came out I think a couple days ago, and I'm super stoked to read it. I believe it's also out in paperback, so I'm going to definitely order it from Amazon because he is a self-pub author, so very exciting. But yeah, so those two, more happy than not, and then The Lost Mage will be part of my TBR. I will definitely have to fit The Lost Mage in there somewhere because I think TB will kill me. But The Lost Mage is basically, I believe, gay elves with some smut in it, according to Ben Alderson. So it is own voices. Ben is also gay. Super stoked to read it. Y'all know how much I loved Cloaked in Shadow, so I will definitely be loving this. And I had to insert this clip in here because if I did not, TB will have called me out in the comments. And, you know, our buddy reads so often that at this point it's almost comical. I'll let you guys go out to the outro now. But that is it for the books I plan to read during Queerly Readathons and the entirety of June. If you guys have read these books or want me to do a review on them or however it may be, please let me know in the comments down below and I'd be more than happy to do them. Until next time, hit like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Hopefully y'all are having a wonderful week, and if not, hopefully the rest of the week is better for you. My week is not going, it's a little tossy-turvy right now because I got rear-ended, but hopefully the rest of the week is great for me. Until next time, bye!